Another reason to not watch MSNBC. So now Megyn Kelly decides to mock Joy Reid and her, well, tears. Here it is.
Been through every emotion from, anger, rage, disappointment, hurt, feeling that, guilt, that I let my team lose their jobs. But in the end, where I really land and where I've landed on today is just gratitude. Just pure gratitude. And gratitude, not just because people would take the time to get on a call like this, or to take care of me, but also that my show had value, and that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize.
No need to apologize, dear sister. Joy Reid is crying because she has heart, because she understands the level of impact that her show has had and will continue to have, because she has held individuals accountable that will forever in the history of media be held accountable to that standard. She's not crying because her show got canceled. She's crying because she understands the spirit behind the cancellation. And if you understood it, you'll be crying too. Now, here's what Megyn Kelly said in her reaction.
The big news tonight will be Joy Reid's final show on MSNBC. Single tear, white woman tears happening right here, Joy. She was officially fired over the weekend because she's a racist, horrible news anchor with no ratings. And that's really been the truth for a long time. MSNBC's under new management, and I guess they decided to come to grips with reality. The truth is, this is very sad news for us, as she's provided so much material over the years.
Oh, Megyn Kelly, let's put it up. Megyn Kelly claims others are racist when it was her who reminded the world that Jesus is a white man and Santa Claus is a white man too. They got her a one-day suspension on Fox News, safe haven for all things racist. It was Megyn Kelly who then failed up and got a job on NBC. Everybody told NBC she's going to blow it and it will be a bigoted response that does it. Well, she told the world she didn't see the big deal with blackface. I mean, what's the issue? Because Megyn Kelly obviously doesn't have Google, even though she has a law degree. Now, remember when Joy Reid laughingly mocked white woman tears as pathetic and offensive to her, who's crying now, Joy, good riddance to the absolute worst person on television, and shame on NBC for letting it go on this long. That was Megyn Kelly's post, okay? Joy Reid has mocked the tears of every white person she's helped counsel over the years, or for some imaginary racial slight. She's had zero empathy for anyone. Now she wants us to feel sorry for her. We don't. No, ma'am, her tears aren't to feel sorry for her. She's understanding the great contextualization of her work. Those are tears of joy, actually, no pun intended, because she realized how many people were checking for her. Megyn, you got a whole NBC job and not a damn person was checking for you. Nobody. That there was no, please put Megyn Kelly back on air. We miss Megyn Kelly. All of that is happening with the Joy Reid camp. Everywhere. White people, Megyn, bigots weren't even checking for you. But you still landed up on NBC. Don Lemon has some words. He put it together quite well. Here it is.
So let me just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go f yourself. I usually don't like to talk about her because she's one of those people, she thrives on it. She has built the second part of whatever of her career on being a troll. She's racist, right? It's just, I'm gonna give you the evidence. Supposedly learned from it and then spent every day after apologizing for it and being fired for it, then spent every day proving the point that she is a racist. The worst person on television was fired from NBC in the Today Show a few years ago, and that's Megyn Kelly. That's the worst person who's not on television anymore, is you.
Yeah, that's true. Megyn, you're on Sirius XM. No slight to Sirius XM, but you did get fired for actually being racist. Rachel Maddow called out her own network over Joy Reid. Here it is.
Joy Reid's show, the ReidOut, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. There is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible.
Fascinating. Joy Reid has the respect of her colleagues. Megyn Kelly, I don't remember any of the bigots at Fox News standing up for you in this way. As a matter of fact, Tiffany Cross would also show public support for Reid. Here it is.
And I know that feeling, Joy, that I heard you say my show mattered, but you're speaking in past tense. I want you to know that you matter, present tense. Your voice matters. And I'm glad you're not on camera because I don't want you to be associated with these remarks. And I apologize to Bishop Daughtry right now because I'm going to try to stop myself from delivering some 4-letter words. But I'm going to just say, don't watch where you're not welcome. Don't shop where they won't hire you. The same thing they say. Don't even hate watch. And don't believe the hype because what comes next are the attacks where they just start making up stuff. So brace yourself because y'all are going to hear some things and they're going to try to say some things because when movement happens, they don't know how Black women move. And because they don't know that, they move like colonizers and then they try to put out an attack. We are here to support Joy. Don't believe the hype about the ratings. Her show was doing very well. You know whose ratings ain't doing well, who ain't never got fired? Morning Joe Scarborough. They went to kiss the ring and they are still being elevated.
It's true. DL Hughley, big homie DL, was not pleased and posted on Instagram. This is far from the last time you will see or hear from Joy Reid. But it will be the last time I give NBC that much attention. Hashtag Team DL. Hughley's followers were largely in agreement with some calling for a boycott. Others questioned why Morning Joe was not on the chopping block. One user wrote, quote, MSNBC ratings are down overall. I stopped watching news, especially network news, the day after the election and refused to go back. Joy was/is not the issue. Mika and Joe solidified the drop when they went to kiss the ring. They are to blame. I will follow Joy wherever she lands. She will be a success no matter what. Another added, quote, she gets canceled, but Morning Joe stays. His ratings are worse than hers, but we all know what it is. In a series of emergency viral meetings, put her up, new MSNBC president, Rebecca Cutler, insisted recent attacks from President Donald Trump had, quote, nothing to do with the decision to cancel ReidOut, but was part of a broader network reboot. Not everyone is buying that rationale. Ambassador, digital magazine editor-in-chief Musa Jackson wrote on Threads, every time MSNBC has a shakeup, the Black woman solo-led show is always the first to go. Tamron Hall, Tiffany Cross, Zerlina Maxwell, and now Joy Reid boycott MSNBC. I echo the sentiment. Please do. Withdraw your consumer support from networks who rely on your eyes and ears in order to make a case to their sponsors, the people who purchase them. Let's be frank. Now at TYT, we have a different model. You may not agree with everything I say or another host may say, but at least you know it comes from an authentic place. Not because a big sponsor is paying a bunch of money, okay? Because you are the number one sponsor. Your eyes, your ears rule the day. It is very sad that this all is happening during Black History Month. One of the most prolific voices in Black media, Joy Reid, gets canceled during Black History Month. Once again, you don't have to agree with everything Joy Reid says. But damn, is this not the most Trumpian thing you can imagine? They couldn't wait. We ain't got but 28 days in the month. All right, Sharon, thoughts here.
Yeah, well, let's start with two white women using their privilege. I'm down with Rachel Maddow, who's going to say what she's going to say, and she has the privilege to do that. She's earned it, but she has the white woman privilege to do that. Megyn Kelly, if you might remember, replaced a more qualified Black woman in Tamron Hall.
Right, yep.
And not only was no one checking for her at the network, nobody was checking for her when she got fired. She's still not back at Fox.
Right.
So she had her last show on broadcast television and her ratings many moons ago. Everybody who is Black and sits in an anchor chair, yourself, myself included, understands what Tiffany Cross meant when she said colonizer and lies that are going to be pushed after the fact. One of those lies is about ratings. Joy Reid's show was down, but not as much as Jen Psaki, the newcomer, who's not very good at television, but is an insider with several presidential administrations. And she was beating Stephanie Ruhle, who still has a show on MSNBC. I agree with DL. Why are we begging to watch something that is not inclusive of us? And let's stop lying, new president of MSNBC. We know exactly why Joy Reid was fired and not given a soft landing somewhere else at the network. And maybe she didn't want to become a correspondent, this Harvard-educated woman. I'll end with this. My good friend, Judge Tiffany Sellers here in Georgia, texted me and said, I can't believe it, Joy Reid.
Yeah.
Am I being too simple, Sharon, if I say, why don't all the wonderful Black commentators and anchors get together, and even streaming, and do their own thing? And I wrote her back and I said, no, you're not oversimplifying it. It's time to stop begging them to respect us. She doesn't need to beg them. Hell of a sister.
Very well said. And obviously, she will land well. Right now, we're feeling the blow of this in the community. And once again, Black History Month.